Hello, welcome to Sri Lakshmi's YouTube channel. This class is brought to you by Lexeria. My name is Sri Lakshmi, Assistant Professor of English. Currently, we are moving through quick revision sessions of Kerala PSC HSST English exam, and today we are dealing with Module 10. So, let's go. Transcendentalism by Emerson and Thoreau. Ralph Waldo Emerson's self-reliance. The core philosophy is individualism, non-conformity, and the oversoul. Here, one of the famous dictum is, whoso would be a man must be a non-conformist. The key concept is trusting one's inner instinct over social, religious, or political institutions. Next is Henry David Thoreau's Civil Disobedience. It was written after Thoreau was jailed for refusing to pay a poll tax, protesting the Mexican-American War and slavery. So the major argument in this work is the authority of the government is derived from the consent of the governed. Individuals have a moral duty to prioritize conscience over law. It directly influenced Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. Next, drama by Arthur Miller, Death of a Salesman. The protagonist is Willie Loman, a tragic hero who represents a failure of the American dream. The technique used here is of mobile concurrency, means past and present occurring simultaneously on stage. The key symbols are the seeds, desire to leave something behind, then the stockings, which means guilty and infidelity, and the flute, which symbolizes the elusive past. The theme is the dehumanizing nature of capitalism. Next, coming to American poetry, E. Cummings' Buffalo Bills. So the form is visual poetry, idiosyncratic use of lowercase letters and spacing. It's a tribute or critique of Buffalo Bill, explores the inevitability of death regardless of one's legendary status. Next, Allen Ginsberg's America. The movement is Beat Generation. The style is long, Whitman-skew lines, colloquial language, and a satirical tone. It's a critique of 1950s American materialism, paranoia, Cold War or communism, and the marginalized status of the poet. Then Gertrude Stein's Ada, the Daughter. The style is modernist, repetitive, and rhythmic prose. The focus is on the relationship between Ada and her father and emphasizes Stein's continuous present technique. Next is 19th century fiction, romance and symbolism. Daniel Hawthorne's A Scarlet Letter. The setting is 17th century Puritan Boston, and the key characters are Hester Prynne, Arthur Dimmesdale, Roger Chillingworth, and Pearl. There is a lot of, symbolism. The A stands for adultery, then Abel, then angel. The transition of the character can be seen. Then the scaffold means public versus private guilt. Then Herman Melville's Moby Dick. The protagonist or narrator is Ishmael. Call me Ishmael. Antagonist is Captain Ahab, obsessed with the great white whale. The subtitle of Moby Dick is A Whale. Okay. Then themes: man versus nature, ontological uncertainty, and the obsession of the human will. The ship's name is the Picard. Next, 20th century and contemporary fiction, Ernest Hemingway, The Old Man and the Sea. The setting is Cuba, Gulf Stream. Characters are Santiago, the old fisherman, and Manolin, his apprentice. Hemingway's style is iceberg theory, minimalist prose, and the key quote is, a man can be defeated but not destroyed. And the last one, Toni Morrison, The Bluest Eye. Context is first novel by Morrison, and the characters are Pecola Breedlove, who desires blue eyes, and Claudia and Frida McTeer. The themes are internalized racism, the white gaze, and the devastating effects of Western beauty standards on the black psyche. So, Emerson's self-reliance is about the transcendentalism movement, and individualism is a major theme. Then Thoreau's Civil Disobedience is a political essay. A major theme is moral conscience. Then Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman is a modern drama with the focus, theme of American Dream. And Hawthorne's Scarlet Letter is it belongs to the dark romanticism, and its major theme is guilt and sin. Then Melville's Moby Dick belongs to the genre of American Renaissance, and the theme is man versus nature. And Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye belongs to the African American literature, and the focus is a racial identity. Since it is a non-detailed session, you need not go deep into each of these topics. Just important points are enough.
Lexeria, English for Life.